What's up, and welcome back to another episode of Make It Make Sense, a Catch Cortez podcast here. And it's your boy Hirsch. And of course, we got the other partner in crime, my guy, the CEO, Catch Cortez himself in the building. We got the belts out today, you know what I'm saying? And we got a very special guest, which he's going to be right back in a second. But let me hype him up. Let me hype him up. He's a guy that loves wrestling.
Wow.
He's a guy that knows history of wrestling. This guy does a really great Macho Man Randy Savage impersonation, and he's got a belt himself right there. Look at that. Undisputed championship belt. Give it up for my boy, Chris in the building. What up, Chris, baby?
CDA. What's up, my boy?
What's happening?
Hey, appreciate you having you joining us today, bro. I know you're a big wrestling fan, so when we were thinking about this episode, we were like, we got to get Chris on here.
Heard that. No doubt. I'm glad to be here. Happy for the invite. Let's get it.
So, yeah, we're going to hop right into it, bro. And let's go ahead and talk about the biggest thing, obviously, that happened this weekend was the Royal Rumble. A lot of mixed reviews, and we'll get into it. But sure. I kind of want to start it off with, what are some things that you think they might have got right or wrong? And Chris, since you're our guest, we'll go ahead and start with you, bro. What are some things you think they got right or wrong with the Rumble this year?
One of the things I think they got wrong, I'm going to start with the location. It did not seem like the Saudi fans were into it. I don't know if y'all noticed, I saw a lot of empty seats, especially during the Women's Rumble, which is a shame because the Women's Rumble was low-key the highlight.
Was better than the men's, yeah.
For sure.
And
something they got right. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll go one. Yeah, we'll go one of both. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I think they got right: AJ Styles and Gunther. I thought that was a good match. It didn't quite have the feel of a retirement match, especially since he took the gloves off, put them back on. I get the sense he's not done yet. I kind of wish he was done with WWE though and went somewhere else, but it's a different conversation.
Yeah, I think they're kind of like labeling or trying to label Gunther as this like retirement guy. Like he's the guy that's going to send people off into retirement. Obviously with Goldberg already, now John Cena, now AJ Styles, which I thought was kind of funny. Rick, I know, and Chris, I know you guys watched Raw on Monday, how Gunther came out to AJ's music and even did like the little stance and everything, bro. Had me in tears, man. That guy's a troll. But no, you're right, Chris. Like there was something about that match. And we'll talk. We'll go down that line when we get there. But there was definitely something about that match that we'll talk about later. Rick, what are things that you think they got right or wrong in this Rumble this year?
Yeah. So Chris took mine on the got wrong, but I think one thing they also got wrong is how they handled some of the male talent, specifically Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar came in, I think, late teens, maybe. When he first got in, absolute Brock Lesnar performance, right? Gets in, suplexes, 20 suplexes immediately across everybody in there. But then he just kind of gets quietly thrown over the top rope by one or two people, while somebody else is while somebody else is coming down somebody's entrance is going on. Like it was just real. We're not worried about you.
5 minutes. He only lasted 5.5 minutes coming in at 22.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I didn't even realize he was gone.
Right.
To be honest, I thought he was kind of we were just watching it. I thought he was kind of laying around waiting for his next spot, but got him out of there.
Yeah, for sure. This isn't my answer, but I just want to point out the one thing that they definitely got right. All the black talent went crazy.
Agreed.
Anybody black, men's or women's, they went crazy. I'm sorry if that was yours. I had to make sure I pointed that out. And then I think my actual one is how they handled Braun not being in it, right? You kept him hot, you kept him focused, into whatever he's about to do, but without actually being in the Rumble, gets taken out by the Masked Man, right? In last 2 seconds. So I think that was outstanding how they did that.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and just ask this question. Who do you guys think the masked person was? A lot of people say Seth Rollins. Obviously, I love how Adam Pearce brought it up on Monday night, going, well, the last guy that was in a black whole black get up like that was Austin Theory, and that was your guys' guy. So you tell me what the hell's going on. I thought that's a good point. But Chris, who do you think it is?
I'm gonna have to say Seth.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense. Like, it makes the most sense. But I feel like it's too obvious, Rick. Like, what do you think?
My thoughts exactly like I want it to be Seth, and especially as we lead up to WrestleMania, it makes the most sense for it to be Seth. So my brain is telling me Seth, but my dark horse is Logan Paul. I haven't figured out why yet, but
and I don't want to get too far into it, but I'm going to say it. This is now the second year in a row where Logan Paul has finished top 3 in the Rumble in 2025.
Yeah,
same thing. It was him, John Cena, and Uso, and Jey Uso.
Yeah,
this year, same thing. He was the last one in there with Roman and
Gunther and Roman and Gunther.
Yeah. So like, once again, he's going to get that push eventually, whether we all like it or not. I think we can all agree here. I don't think any of us are really Logan Paul fans. But I hate to say it, he is talented, and I'll just leave it at that if you guys want to right there. But yeah, interesting about Braun Breaker's situation, Rick. That's a very good one. I never thought about that, but when you think of somebody as sneaky, as grimy as Logan Paul's character is, I could kind of see that. But let's go ahead and jump right into the men's rumble, because we're going to save the women's for last. Let's go ahead and get right into it. First off, Oba Femi. I mean, for him to be number 1. And I was kind of excited, and I was kind of excited because we knew Braun was going to be number 2. Like, we knew all that. So we're like, okay, now we're going to get to see Oba versus Braun. Then that happens, and he literally he's in the ring, gets thrown out, and it's like, okay. And then Oba went on a stretch where he took out, he took out, like, what was it, 3 or 4 people in a row. He took out Rey Mysterio, Rusev,
before the next person would come in.
Solo Sikoa, like, he was taking people out left and right. I mean, hell, Rusev lasted 32 seconds. Solo Sikoa was only in there with him for 3 minutes, like 3 minutes, 51 seconds. But what's funny to me is Braun Breaker, 10 seconds. I mean, it's just insane. But I know it's too early. I know that was his debut in the WWE. I feel like more is to come for him. But what do you guys think about that performance, and what do you think is next for Oba Femi?
I'll let you go, Chris. What do you think?
I definitely think that Oba Femi has some gold in his future. Which belt that is, I'm not too sure. I can't quite see him getting the push yet for the big belts. However, I definitely think he's that caliber of a talent. I mean, he was tearing up NXT for, ever, pretty much since he stepped on the scene. I definitely think he's got the grind for it. He's got the acumen, and I mean, it's the ruler. So what's a king without a crown?
Yeah, I agree. Everything you said, I can see them pushing the US title or something on him soon. Hoping he can, really make that a title that we care about, because seemingly anybody that they put it on, we really don't care much about it not too long after, for men's and women's, it seems like, right? My hope though is, they aren't really big on, let's be honest, they aren't really too big on pushing us. You know what I mean?
True.
So the last one was Big E, and he definitely got a push, but it took a while. He was already NXT champ, like Big E, or like Oba is. Yeah, it was. So
part of the greatest tag team.
Part of the greatest tag, right? So he had all of it there, but he never made it until 10 years or so in. So my hope is we don't have to wait that long, because he's already right there.
I got one for you.
I think I was going to piggyback off that real quick. I was going to say is that I also think that the fact that he's got a lot of fan support. And that's the great thing about WWE. Like, obviously, like, we're not going to get into it. Like, is there racism within the WWE itself? Yes. Within the fan base, obviously, but the fans seem to love Oba. Like, they seem to love him. And I think that's going to kind of transpire, like, into, like you said, Chris, I don't think, like, undisputed champion. I don't even think really heavyweight champion. Like, maybe intercontinental, maybe, like, maybe US champion, like something like that, you know, something to kind of get him going, to kind of see how he kind of formulates. But I also think the one thing is like how well he can like talk on the mic. That's going to be something that's going to be very important, because if you're going to be a big time champ, you got to be able to cut a promo. I mean, everybody knows that. But go ahead, Chris. What's another one you got?
You just kind of mentioned it. You said the Intercontinental. I feel like a match between him and Dominic Mysterio would be quite a banger. Quite a banger. You know, Dom Mysterio makes everybody look good. There's a reason Dom is around as often as he is. He has pretty much everything you just mentioned. He's got the intangibles. He's got the pedigree, the lineage. He's got the in-ring ability. I feel like Dom Mysterio and Obafemi could put on a show for us.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a very good one. All right, so let's go ahead and kind of keep this going. So what were, you know, out of obviously out of the 30 that we had, Roman coming back at 26, I think was probably, like, for me, that's going to kind of be my, like, not necessarily surprise interest, but it was just good to kind of officially get Roman back in the sense of the fact that he's going to be back. Chris, but I want to kind of ask you this one, bro. You know, I know we kind of talked about this off air, but we were talking about kind of people we wanted to see. We wanted to see, like, you know, for example, Chris Jericho. But I mean, did you kind of feel like we didn't really get like the surprise return that we normally get at the Rumble, like, you know, every year?
Yeah, there was no aura, there was no mystique about it. I was fully expecting a Chris Jericho, even a Seth Rollins return. Whether or not that's him as the hooded man, who knows? But yeah, I feel like the only kind of surprise thing we did get was Brie Bella, which I don't know if that's indicative of her, you know, playing a bigger role as the season progresses. I kind of think it was a one-time thing personally.
I agree.
But yeah, there just wasn't. It didn't move me, you know.
Is there anybody else that you would have maybe liked to see besides like maybe Chris Jericho? I mean, hell, last year we even got Joe Hendry last year. I mean,
yeah.
You know, like, is there anybody else you could maybe think of?
Honestly, Joe Hendry would be a good pick. Maybe somebody else from NXT.
I mean, Matt Cardona, like, really?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like I said, I'm looking down this list, and you know, we don't have to go down all of it, but like Mr. Iguana, like, I understand the AAA affiliation. Getting Trick Williams, that was fun. That's kind of, I feel like that's kind of like a future, like, you know, I also feel like that's somebody in the WWE is going to get some gold at some point.
Yeah.
You know, Dragon Lee, La Parka. I mean, like I said, I mean, it was, I hate to say it, it lacked something. I mean, at least with the women's Rumble, we got the pop of Brie coming back, but not to really get that. And I guess I was gonna ask you what was the biggest pop of the night for the men's WWE or for the Rumble. And obviously, I hate to say, I think the most obvious one was Roman.
Yeah.
I don't really. I look at this list. I mean, when we were getting to the last few, because Roman came in at 26, Jacob Fatu at 27, Penta at number 28, Randy at 29, Gunther at 30. We were all going like, oh, okay, this is where we might get Jericho. But then, like Rick would say, like, oh, we forgot like this person, we forgot that person.
Yeah.
Do you think it was because it was in Saudi Arabia? It might have been hard to get somebody like that to come back, or what?
It probably played a part in it. You know, when you get a big pay-per-view like this in, you know, a different country, especially one like Saudi Arabia, I can definitely see like maybe some kind of travel issues or just the logistics not working out for some people. But I feel like you're right. We didn't get much. Could have got more. Maybe somebody additional, somebody like a bit higher up in other brands, like maybe we get the Kingo over from AAA, or we get somebody like what's X Division champ in TNA right now? What was it, Leon Slater?
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't get Slater. Yeah,
could have got him. He would have been fantastic, especially, you know, the spots we would have got with him and Javon Evans, who's phenomenal. You know,
they're tag team partners. I'm surprised we didn't get him. Yeah,
we didn't, but we should have.
Yeah. Rick, and this is kind of the last thing I'll kind of wrap up. Obviously, we now know Roman wants CM Punk And I open this question up to both of you. And this is kind of like and we saw this coming, right? A couple years ago at Survivor, was it?
Yeah, Survivor Series War Games.
Yeah, where he literally like stopped CM Punk from walking out of the gate, and they just locked eyes at each other. And it was obvious, like, first off, I will give credit to the WWE. Sometimes people talk about the story. That was pretty good, because now here we are almost 2 years later, and now we're fine. Like, now these two are finally like about to beef. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be good. But what do you guys think this means for WWE? Like, obviously he wins. Like, this is going to have like probably night one, I'm guessing. I would guess it would headline night one. Because obviously I think Drew and Cody will take, night two, because I think that's what they're setting up again. But anyway, let's talk about that. Like, what does Roman and CM Punk mean for WrestleMania? You guys excited to see it? What's your overall like expectation, Chris?
I don't know if it means anything substantial, to be honest.
Maybe just a change in the belt at WrestleMania?
Yeah, it's just a change in the belt. At this point, it's going to be somebody who we've seen as champion, like the longest reigning champion ever. So we know what to expect. We know he's going to play to win. Like, he's not going to show up to lose. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, it's all speculation, but have you had anything that sticks out in your mind as memorable a point in CM Punk's reign right now?
No. Mm-mm. No. Rick, you want to kind of chime in on that one?
So I agree with everything you're saying, but with everything you're saying, you believe that Roman's going to win. Fair to say? For everything you're saying is exactly why I think they're going to have CM Punk win. Because, he hasn't really had anything up to this point, in his title reign that has really made it memorable, right? They're gonna build all this up, right? Keep going back to, like you said, Hirsch, we're gonna see a crap ton of those same highlights from War Games from 2 years ago, leading up, and then we're gonna get there, and CM Punk is gonna win, not only because of just the beef and the rivalry. They no longer them have Heyman anymore, right? But that's a factor too. The whole turning on both of them and all that. But Roman's never there. You know what I mean? They're not going to put the title back on him for him to never show up consistently again. Right? The champion needs to be there week in and week out. So he's never going back to that. So I think this is just another thing that CM Punk gets to do, and then Roman's going to be gone for another 4 or 5 months. And also, they made such a big deal about CM Punk finally making it to the main event of WrestleMania, but he lost.
Yeah.
So he needs to now get that W, right? It's his Cody story. You know what I mean? That he lost that first piece of his story, and then he won the second year. It's kind of CM's version of that.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. Let's go ahead and jump into the women's Royal Rumble now. Now, this one, Chris talked about at the beginning, was probably, I thought it was way better than the men's Royal Rumble, only because the first two entrances were very, it was kind of like a mind game a little bit, with it being Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss to first come out, the two current, the tag team champions, former champ. Are they former champions or current?
Former champs.
Former champions.
But regardless, still teammates, So it's kind of funny to see those two kind of like turn on each other, or not necessarily turn, but like
have to fight,
mess with each other a little bit. Just for them to kind of team up on Kiana James. Then Nia Jax came in, but I don't want to jump too far into it, but who do you guys think, who stood out to you? And Rick, I want to start with you first, because we kind of talked about this a little bit off. Mine was Sol Ruca. Like, I think she was phenomenal. She just has a thing about her, the way, she lasted 50 minutes. So I believe she was the Iron Woman of the match. She was. So, that's insane, but she's got a lot of athleticism. The Soul Snatch, I think, is the best move in wrestling. Rick, who stuck out to you?
I mean, it goes without saying that's Lash Legend, right? She
Agreed.
came on, and over the last few months, she's already been making a name for herself on SmackDown, right? With Nia and everything, just kind of taking the spotlight, taking like the power factor from Nia almost, right? Like people are coming in, and usually Nia is like the scary, I don't want to get in the ring with her person. Like, no, that's Lash now. Like, yeah. So I think she put on a show for sure.
Chris, who you got? Who stuck out to you?
Completely agree with Lash Legend, but outside of that, I'm gonna have to go with Liv. I feel like, she won for a reason. You see the shirt, right there. Liv is fantastic. She is a champion's champion. I don't know if any of you saw like behind the scenes after the women's rumble was over and she's walking back up the ramp, she kind of broke for a bit, and you could see the emotion and see how much that meant to her coming off an injury. She was gone for a long time. She was gone for a long time. So I feel like I'm happy for Liv and her performance. Yeah.
And she's like coming second, I believe, twice. So she's,
and they even said that on the broadcast, always a bridesmaid, never a bride. She got the ring this time.
Yeah, and I think we'll find out maybe Friday on SmackDown who she's going to go after. I think we can all kind of agree. It's going to be fun to see who she turns on, or not turns on, who she goes after. But speaking of turning on, Raquel, I think that's the start of the merger between those two. Is that Raquel was pissed when she looked over and saw Liv kind of like smiling, like, yeah, I did it. And, she is Dom's girl. So like, playing dirty. I mean, that's just living up to Liv, right? But, that's kind of like my thing. That's kind of what I wanted to ask you next was, like, do you think Liv is going to get her championship back? Like, do you think it's time for her to be a champion again after being out for so long? Yes, she was a tag team champion, but then got hurt. Like, do you think it's time for her to lift another belt, Rick? I'm gonna start with you, Rick, since you got the shirt.
Oh, absolutely. The only thing that sucks about it, right, is that one of these very well also deserving champions has to lose for that to happen, right? Jade is dominant. I want her to have the belt forever. And the same with Stephanie, right? Like they have been,
and they kind of tease those two. They kind of tease Liv and Stephanie already, like, before. And I think like that's obviously who I think she's going to end up picking.
I agree.
Because I don't see it being Jay. Because like I think Jay would like.
I have a surprising that they weren't there, but I have a surprise opponent for her for WrestleMania.
Who?
I think Bianca's going to come back.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, I think Bianca's coming back.
Like as good as the women's Royal Rumble was, that's literally was one person. I was like, damn, it would have been nice to get Bianca back. But like I get it, like she'll probably be revealed, probably like Survivor Series, Elimination Chamber, maybe
something like that.
Like just how Jade came back and beat the hell out of who was that?
Naomi.
So like I think it could be almost something like that. But no, 100%. I think we'll get her back before then. But Chris, who do you think? Like obviously, I know how much of a fan you are, Stephanie. Would you be okay with Stephanie losing that belt? Because she's been a great champion. She's been an active champion. I'm a fan of her as well. But like, do you think? Are you okay with her losing that belt to Liv?
Would I be okay with it? Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's not my choice. I would like either one of them as champion, but I do agree with Rick. I think that is going to be the matchup there. You've got a former Crown Jewel champion and the current reigning Crown Jewel women's champion. So I feel like the storyline is there. It's set up, and it's going to be a hell of a match for sure.
Yeah, and like that's the thing about Stephanie. I mean, when she first came into the WWE, like we knew she was going to get that push. I mean, her being at Royal Rumble, we got to see her live. But just seeing how her game is like evolving, like she's like not necessarily pulling out moves every week, but like just seeing her add stuff to her resume. Like obviously besides like your favorite move, Chris, the Devil's Kiss. I know that's your favorite thing. But you know, I think she's a great champion. Like you said, at this point, it is going to be kind of like a changing of belts because she's had it for a long time. She's defended it. She's, you know, gone against a whole bunch of people. But yeah, I think like you said, it's obviously not up to us, but you know, Liv getting her belt back after being out for so long, and then, you know, her losing herself from Rio, you know, what seems like so long ago. You're right. I think it is time for her to go ahead and get that back. So overall, like, let's give, and Chris, I want to start with you overall. And before we give it a full rating, let's actually talk about the other two matches real quick. We talked about it. We touched on a little bit earlier about the AJ Styles Gunther thing. What'd you think of that match? I know you kind of think that AJ's not done, but what did you think of the match in general? And why are they kind of make Gunther seem like this dominant force? I don't get it.
So what I think of the match, I think it was a great match. I'm not going to say it was a 5-star banger or anything like that, but it was definitely a really good, really entertaining singles match. It had all of the, you know, kind of implications behind it of Gunther being the you know, the resurgence of what Randy Orton was, the legend killer. He's kind of like filling in that role right now for the WWE, literally retiring people. So I feel like it's good for Gunther's image and what he's got going on. AJ Styles, everybody loves AJ Styles. We've loved AJ Styles for 20 years at this point, across several different brands. He's always been phenomenal. His name is his name, and he stands on that and flips off of it. But yeah, I thought it was a great match. I think it was the better of the two singles matches on the card. I honestly have no complaints about it, besides maybe the fact that, you know, Gunther, you have more of a bag than a rear naked choke. You got more than that.
Oh God,
you're more than a choke and a chop. So show some of that off. You remember there was a streak where Gunther was eliminating somebody with a different move every match, and I feel like if you got that kind of like a Taskmaster-esque bag, you should show it a little bit more.
100%. Rick, what do you think of the match? I mean, is there anything like you want to add to what Chris said? Because I think that he hit it right on the head.
Yeah, that sums it up. The only thing I might add is that, like Chris said, I don't think AJ is done based on the performance that he gave in that match. But yeah, as dominant as someone like Gunther is, I love that they're able to give him something like this that isn't a title, right? But it's something that keeps him just as relevant, right? So I think that's one of the few really good decisions that they've made recently, is giving him this, you know, because it puts the heat on him, but you want to see him, right? So no, that's all I got. But yeah, Chris hit the nail on the head for sure.
And then the last match, obviously, now this one I don't know if I'm gonna make people mad with this one. Like you guys know I do watch wrestling. I'm not in as depth as you guys are. But the one thing I will say is I do like Sami Zayn. I don't like how much he's forced on us as WWE fans. It was nice for him to get this title shot against Drew McIntyre. But like the match itself was good. I mean, I do like watching Sami, but like I just feel like this was not really a wasted opportunity, but just like I felt like either Drew could have had a better opponent, or it could have maybe been a different match in general, like altogether. What do you guys think? Rick, I'll let you go first. I see the face you're making. What do you think?
And it's like I agree, but so I agree on the front of it feeling like that, but I think it only feels like that because Sami's only here. I don't say only here because it's Saudi Arabia, but he tends to get these buildups and these pushes to a title shot when there's a crown jewel or something like this, you know, on the card in the next few months. So anytime I see, a champion talking and then dun, 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 when that hits, there must be a crown jewel or something loading up, right? We must be going to Riyadh. Yeah, we must be on the way to Riyadh soon. And he, like you said, he's a great wrestler, but he's not really in that scene anymore. There was a time where he, was, but it's not anymore. So I can understand why this feels like a kind of a throwaway match. But before I turn it over to Chris, I think that this is a throwaway champion right now. There's a part of me where I don't think Drew makes it to Mania.
He don't make it much longer. I don't know if he loses it during. He probably won't lose it during like a Saturday night event or nothing like that. But like at this point, dude, it's like, and I haven't really been watching myself, but I have still been kind of following along. And yeah, it's kind of the same thing. It's like a lot of people aren't really kind of feeling this whole Drew champion thing. Like, what do you think, Chris?
So I do want to touch on what Rick said. Calling Drew a kind of throwaway champion, like a placeholder champion. He's kind of always been that way every time he's held a belt. For
Except the first time.
Except the first time, but yeah, that's kind of what his championship reign has kind of turned into, which is a little sad to say. I feel like I like Drew McIntyre. I think he's great. I think he cuts a great promo. He's got great skill, great big physique, kind of strong man type of champion. We don't get those these days very often, so I am appreciative of that. But yeah, I just can't see them doing anything else with where he's at right now. He doesn't even really have like, I feel like his current feud isn't really doing it for me.
Him and Cody again, it's just like, we obviously know Cody's gonna get the championship belt back at WrestleMania. Like that's the reason why he got eliminated at the Rumble, because Drew literally came out and helped eliminate him. So like obviously we know
what's going on there.
Coming. And we also knew it when Roman decided not to pick Drew. So like we kind of, you're right. I think that's the biggest thing. It does kind of feel like a throwaway situation. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to AEW.
Hold on, I got one more point about that. One more thing I want to say. Sami Zayn, he's a crowd favorite. Everybody loves Sami Zayn. You're wondering why he got that match. Sami Zayn, we know he is Syrian. Like we know Sami Zayn. It's not necessarily like a hometown match for you, but I don't know many other people on the roster that speak Arabic or like are that in tune with the Saudi fans as Sami. So I feel like that's part of why we got that match. If you get a pay-per-view on like your home turf, you would want a match. So I feel like that's part of why we got Sami there.
It's like UFC. Anytime they go to London, Patty's on the card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Patty and Leon Edwards are on the card type thing. For sure. The last thing
we just saw it with Australia.
Right.
Yeah, that whole card was full.
Forgot about that. Right.
Card full of hometown people.
Yeah, and the last thing I'd say about this is I think part of the reason, or really the main reason, and it might be intentional, that makes it feel like a throwaway championship is how Drew won it, right? Drew won it on, Fatu coming in and blowing up the steel cage match, and then he just kind of slides out while what's that? Cody's getting his ass whooped. So, it could be intentional this way, but whenever a not clean win like that happens, it kind of leaves that weird taste in your mouth. So,
100%. Well, Chris, we actually talked about this before, and you've actually made the joke, and I don't know if it was a joke, it might be true, but you claim that AEW is actually kind of in a better position, or at least with a better story than WWE. Kind of tell me what's your favorite current storyline going on right now.
Oh yeah,
won't disrespect either side.
If I had a big gold,
oh my god,
y'all would be blinded.
But so, what's your favorite current storyline right now with AEW?
My favorite thing right now is this. I don't know if it's going to become a triple threat match or a three-way death match or whatever it's going to turn into. or four-way. I don't care, but whatever they got cooking right now with Hangman Adam Page, Swerve Strickland, Kenny Omega fighting for a title shot, that stuff is great. I don't know how caught up y'all are, but Swerve just lost to our boy Andrade El Idolo. So that was a banger match. I'm not gonna lie, that was a really good match. Yeah. Andrade's getting a good push right now, joining the Don Callis family. So, you know, the Don Callis family, they are a family of belt collectors for sure. They've been kind of like slacking or slipping recently, losing them, but I feel like what is now turning into Andrade, Kenny Omega, and Hangman Adam Page, all of them coming at MJF, wanting a shot at that big gold. That's cinema right there, baby.
Yeah.
What about you, Rick? What's your favorite current storyline going on right now in AEW?
Favorite current storyline for me? It's tough. I'm probably gonna have to go with this whole thing that's going on with Chris's girl, Chris Statlander.
Stat Daddy.
I haven't watched in a few weeks, but if I'm not mistaken, she's having some problems with what's our girl's name? The scary girls.
The Sisters of Sin and
Sisters
Tekla.
of Sin, yeah.
The Triangle of Madness is what they go by.
Yeah, so Chris has the assistance of the Babes of Wrath.
Yeah.
So
Big fan.
big fan. Big fans. So that's probably, and of course anything that involves Toni Storm, I'm locked in on because she is peak cinema for sure.
Toni Storm
and it's actually
is
funny
comedy
because
right now. Yeah,
and it's actually kind of funny because I would probably say I watch more of the AEW like big events. Like I don't watch it every week, but whenever there are those bigger events, or you guys, and plus you guys will usually let me know. But the one that I remember the most was, and they've had plenty of matches against each other, but the one I'm thinking about the most was I think the most recent, like the last one between Toni Storm and Mariah May. Like that one was insane. I mean, probably one of the craziest matches I've ever seen as far as like the brutality of those two. Like
that was a
death
match.
Like,
yeah,
it was
For
insane.
real.
I mean, they put on a great show. And you're right, Rick. Like Toni Storm is great over there at AEW. And I think she's gonna kind of like run that for a while. And she's so great. But like, which kind of leads me to my next thing. Who do you guys think needs the biggest push? Like, who deserves it? Like, who's somebody on AEW roster that you think deserves a push? And Chris, I want to kind of go with you because I know you've been a little bit more up to date. Gives Rick a second to think about because I know I can see the gears turning in his head. What you got?
I think who deserves the biggest push right now on the men's side for sure. I'm gonna go with Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega had a long absence with diverticulitis, out with surgery, got however many feet of intestine removed, he says. He's back. He looks phenomenal. They made a good they did a good job highlighting how in shape Kenny Omega is right now. Kenny is ready for a big match. He's ready for a big match, and part of what he's got going on right now is that he's not afraid to earn it. He'll wrestle every week and show you that he's going to get that. That being said, though Kenny Omega is Kenny Omega, like he needs no help. I think the push that I want the most right now is Brody King. With Brody King not having Bandito right now, Bandito put on a fantastic match against MJF. So well that MJF was even like, you got it. I'm gonna have to whoop you now, but you got it.
Yeah.
So now we got Brody King, MJF in the last promo they cut when they were opposite each other. He made a good point where it's like, Brody King, you've always been with people, and now you need to be, with the action. You need to deliver alone, which I think he can do. I feel like Brody King has phenomenal talent. He's a great like big burly type and way more athletic than he looks. Very imposing. I feel like he needs a push now.
Rick, what you got? What do you feel?
Yeah.
Because I mean, like I said, you know way more about AEW than I do, but like, I mean,
No.
Kenny Omega, I know who Kenny Omega is, and that makes a lot of sense. But like, I mean, who do you think? Like, do you agree with Chris?
Oh, that's A1, I think, for sure. My first thought went to someone who literally whose contract ran out in WWE 2 weeks ago and then showed up on AEW this past week and immediately won a championship, which is Tommaso Ciampa.
Yes, sir. The Psycho Killer.
So now I can't say him because he's getting a push. But so if I'm not going with him, I need Bobby Lashley or something. Like, I need Bobby Lashley to get a push, like an actual singles push, because I haven't really seen the Hurt Business anywhere, or the Hurt Syndicate anywhere lately. I would love for them as a whole to get a push again, but I need them because they're individuals, as individuals are amazing wrestlers, as we know. We've been seeing them for the last 20 years too. So I would love to see them. But Brody King is an excellent answer too. It's because he's already on TV, right? So yeah, any of the above. The bad thing about AEW is that they have such a great roster that
everybody's
fire. So anytime you get anybody on TV, you're like, damn, I forgot you had them. And they put on a banger, you don't see them again for 2 months.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yep. So I believe the next big pay-per-view would be what? Revolution in March. Yeah, so so looking forward to that. What are some things you think we're gonna see at that? Like, what are some, like, a big match that you like? Do you think we might see that 3-way championship match? Like, do you think they wait all the way till then? Do you think they do it before then? Because I mean, like, something that big, I mean, that's got to headline, a major event.
Yeah. I don't know if it'll actually turn into a 3-way or a 4-way. I could totally just see it being, your old-fashioned one-on-one championship match. But if you ask me what I'm looking forward to, and I don't even know how feasible this is, I need Will Ospreay back. I have no idea how it's going or what his timetable's looking like, but man, if there was ever a time for somebody to come through and do some straightening, it's my boy Will Ospreay.
Do you think it could happen at Grand Slam in Australia and this month? Because that's in February. That's literally next weekend. So do you think maybe
you might be cooking with that one?
You might be cooking
with that one. We did just talk about the hometown advantage.
He popped up. He did pop up for like a quick little check-in. It was about a month ago or so.
Something like that.
Something like that. So good.
Yeah. So basically, we got Revolution coming up March 15th. Grand Slam coming up in 2 weeks. You're looking here at the poster. They got Mariah May on here. MG, which
Mariah May.
No, I'm sorry.
That's Harley Cameron. It's Tony Storm and Harley Cameron over there.
Yeah. So, like, who do you think? Obviously, we see Tony Storm on here. Like, what's her current storyline right now, Chris? Like, who do you think is going to be her next opponent that's going to actually challenge her for the championship?
I think right now they're setting up a feud with Tony Storm and Marina Shafir, which banger. Like that's going to be a good match. Marina definitely can deliver a beating and put on a fight. She's definitely got that kind of similar to kind of like what the WWE has with so it's kind of like on a like a Nia Jax kind of run where people are kind of scared of her.
Nia Jax meets like Shayna Baszler-ish.
Meets Shayna Baszler, yes, there you go, exactly. She'll choke you out. She asked Tony Storm the other day, do you need some more milk? Because her choke's called the mother's milk. Hey, crazy, but I think what they have cooking right now, that'll lead to something good, because we know Tony Storm is not scared of anything.
Mhm.
Toni Storm will have whatever kind of match, whenever, wherever, whatever stipulations, she's with it. She's game. She is a psycho. We
Which
have
is
seen
not
it.
what I thought she was about.
Bro, no way. But I love it. Timeless Toni Storm, she's cooking right now. I also love this new friendship she has with Orange Cassidy. She calls him Citrus Boy. It kills me. It kills me, man.
Well, before we get out of here, let's go ahead and wrap up this episode. I want you guys to give me a sentence, and I'll give you guys a second to think about this. But give me a sec. I just want one sentence. Give me your Royal Rumble hot take for this year's Royal Rumble. And then I'll ask you one more rapid fire thing before we get here. So I'm going to start with that. If anybody wants to go first, just give me one sentence for this year's Royal Rumble.
That's tough. One sentence.
I'll go ahead and say it. I got one. I'll go ahead and say it.
What's up?
The men's talent could have been better. I hate to say it. I hate to keep harping on it, but like it lacked. I mean, the fact that you had the opportunity to go and get Chris Jericho, especially since you kind of did the swap with him and AJ. Like, you were thinking that was going to happen, but for it to not really kind of, like I said, I felt like fans were already like at home because we're the ones watching it. Like, obviously, like Chris said, there was a lot of empty seats. A lot of people weren't really into it, which I think they're going to end up bringing it back this way, which makes the most sense. But, I mean, that's mine. I mean, the male talent could have been better. I mean, first off, you waste 2 spots on El Grande Americano. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Matt Cardona, what are we doing? Like, we really got to this part where we're like, this is what we're doing now. I mean, that's just my hot take. That's my hot take. I mean, shout out to Roman. I'm glad Roman run it. I'm OTC all day. You know what I'm saying? But like, man, that it was disappointing. I hate to say it, but it was disappointing. If I would have paid all my money to go all the way out there to watch that, I'd have been pissed.
That's fair. You got yours, Chris. Here we go next.
Yeah, I got one. I'm gonna go with TKO vibes. TKO vibes
for sure.
But the TKO stands for tragically killing our vibes. It didn't hit for me. It's kind of been showing signs of progressing this way ever since TKO took over. And I'm not even trying to be like a big corporations are bad kind of dude, but when the product is as mid as it has been, and that's the main change, we know they're just here to collect a check. It's not for the love of the game no more. They don't care about the grabs no more, bro.
Yep.
It's a shame to see, but that's what it's become.
I feel
if they did, you know what they would have done with that partnership with the WWE? They wouldn't be charging us to keep having to watch. Like, we literally went back to having to pay for these events again after they were just free. Like, you could watch WrestleMania on Peacock. Like, literally, you went from having it accessible to now restricting it. So, like,
to give you a diluted product.
Exactly. Like, if you're gonna make us pay to watch this, make it worth our time. I mean, my God, like I said, it's just, yeah, I agree. Rick, I know you got yours. What's up?
Yes. I mean, I don't want to be all doom and gloom, but I agree with everything y'all say. So I'll counteract both with, like I said at the top of the show, the black talent killed it in the men's Royal Rumble, but both of them specifically. But so I'll end with that boy bouncy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Javon Evans, he's gonna get I think with his introduction to the WWE, whenever he does actually start, get into it full time, definitely somebody that, like, if Oba does decide to go after Dom in that Intercontinental, Javon's definitely going to get the push for the USA. He's going to get the one for the US Championship. I 100% believe that.
One of them, at some point, is going to have to run into my other man's, though. Whoop that trick.
Yeah.
Hey, the talent, I'm telling you, the talent pool for us is strong. So they
Yeah.
can't. So yeah, we're gonna have some more champions soon. That's for sure.
Shout out to Sean. He's cooking with the black talent,
Sean,
men's and women's.
yeah.
He's cooking.
The one thing that I tell everybody who watches wrestling that I have a conversation with is that I know Mondays and Fridays are rough watches, but do not sleep on Tuesdays.
Don't sleep on Tuesday.
Don't sleep on Tuesdays because they are what's hot right now. And they just, as you see, they've got rid of all of their talent. Sol Ruka is officially about to be on, up on the main roster. All the men we just talked about are on the main roster. So they're starting fresh again. And people are acting like, oh my God, it's such a worry. But when the Braun Breakers and Tiffany Strattons a few years ago left, they built these people. So do not have any fear. Shawn Michaels is here.
Indeed.
Yeah. Chris, anything else you want to add before we wrap it up, bro?
I agree with Rick. I agree with Rick. We've been saying it for a while. Tuesday, if you're going to watch WWE, watch it on Tuesdays.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, hell yeah, I agree with you guys. Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us for this episode. If you guys,
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you. If you guys want to hear more, or if you want to read more, make sure you check out the Substack. Everything you need is going to be there, including this episode. We'll have some videos coming up and everything soon too. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us.